Hello y'all, it's me. I'm making a long form video. Been a minute since I've done that. Yeah. I'm just gonna yap for a minute about my 2026. How is it going? I fully went into 2026 being like, it's my year. This is actually my year. And I'm gonna tell myself that I'm simply struggle busing on the front end of it to wrap up some 2025 stuff. It's the purge month. This is where I purge, and it's gonna be up from here. That's what I'm telling myself because I have been fighting for my life. It's been tough, y'all. I'm gonna talk about it for a sec, okay? So, yeah. So to start off, I started out this year by going to Spotlight New Year's. Fantastic. Wonderful. I loved it. It was a great experience, right? I drove up on Tuesday. New Year's Eve was a Wednesday. I started out so let me just start this. I had major family drama go down the night before I left home, and that was great. I live in Florida. My family lives in Texas. Major family drama went down, and the next morning I took a 13-hour solo road trip from Houston to Nashville. I don't recommend doing that. That was not fun, and I had 13 hours to think about the drama that I had with my family before I left. I don't recommend doing that. Don't do that. It wasn't fun because I had 13 hours to really mull over what had happened. It was great. Don't do that. But anyway, Spotlight was fantastic. If you're a West Coast swing dancer, I highly recommend Spotlight as an event. It was very fun. I am still relatively new to West Coast swing events, so I can't really compare it to something like floor play, which a lot of people said they really love floor play. A lot of people swear by floor play. A lot of people swear by Spotlight. I will say Spotlight was so fun for the social dancing. I loved the social dancing. So amazing. I honestly did not do a lot of workshops. Most of the time I've gone to an event, I do as many workshops as I possibly could handle. I could not handle too many workshops because I stayed up so late social dancing. But it was a great time. It was so fun. This was my third time competing in novice. I did not make it out of prelims. I was really hoping I would. I was working really hard towards that goal, but I did not. I was not far away from making it out of prelims. It wasn't like I was at the bottom of the list. However, I did not make it out of prelims. I'm a little sad about that. But I will say the thing that was a personal win for me was that I was the most confident I have ever been in a novice competition. And here's the thing. For those of you who are not familiar with competing in West Coast Swing, novice is a huge division because there are so many dancers in novice right now. It is a huge, huge division. And you have people who have danced their entire lives. You have people like me who've been dancing I've been dancing seriously for roughly just under a year. I have been dancing close to 2 years, but taking it seriously and taking private lessons less than a year. So you have people like me who are trying really hard, but we can't compete with the people who have the dance background, you know? Or I'm not gonna say that, but you know, you don't have the advantage of being like, oh, like I've danced for years. It's like, oh, I'm starting from the ground up and I'm working my way through this. So you have that. You have people who've been doing West Coast for years. You have people who just started. So it really is a division of a lot of different variables, and there are just genuinely a lot of people in that division. So what I've been telling myself is it's okay. I hear people take years to get out of this division. That's totally fine. Just don't get discouraged. And when you are dancing like you're ready to move up to the next division, you will. And that is my personal philosophy about it. But I felt a lot more confident. That is the thing that was good, is I felt a lot more confident about my dancing. The first time I danced in novice, I was quaking in my boots. I was so nervous, but I still did it, and I felt like I did a good job. I wasn't mad about those dances. Second time was at ASC, and I felt better about my dances, but I knew they weren't great, and I almost made it out of prelims. I was like 2 people away from getting into semi-quarters. So I felt good about ASC, even though I knew I hadn't danced my best. At Spotlight, I felt like it was the best I had ever danced, especially the third dance. I was like, oh yeah, that was good. Didn't make it out of prelims, but I felt personally that I was very confident and I just enjoyed the experience, and it didn't feel as nerve-wracking as the first times that I competed in novice. So yeah, that's how that went. It was a good time. But what I will say is the very last night of Spotlight, I could feel myself coming down with a cold, and you can probably still hear it in my voice. I started to not feel great, and also I'm gonna complain about this, and this is kind of TMI, but I gotta complain, all right? So anyway, last night of Spotlight, I'm sitting there, they said, be quiet. That was weird. I'm sitting there and I'm struggling and I did not make it through the Up All Night challenge. I feel like I'm about to be on my period, right? It's the last night. I feel like I'm about to be on my period and I feel like I'm getting sick. Next day I wake up and I go home. I was sick and I made a solo car ride from Nashville to Florida. Not fun. Next day I go to work and I'm sick. I was sick all through this week, and so I go to work, and for those of y'all who are like, Lauren, don't go to work sick. The thing is, I kind of leave it to my nanny mom's discretion whether she wants me at work or not, because here's the thing. The babies get me sick a lot. They really do, because they're children and they get sick all the time, and then they give it to me and I'm like, great, that's fun. But it comes with the job. You work with kids, you get exposed to all kinds of sickness. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, this is not good sickness, like, do you want me there? But if it's like, oh, I can push through it, like, I'll still go to work, because there really isn't a replacement for me. I don't have coworkers. It's not like I can just call in sick. It's like, no, I better be there. So it's really, I try to save sick days for when I'm actually like running fever and probably should be in the hospital, you know? So anyway, yeah, I went to work. I did not feel good. My voice kind of still sounds pretty bad. The other ailment I have had, and this is kind of TMI, but still it's probably worth talking about it because I didn't know this was going to happen to me. So either sympathize with me or know if you do what I did, this could happen, okay? I would have loved to have known about this beforehand, okay? So let me tell y'all. I have really bad period cramps. They're not fun. They're actually quite miserable. And I've tried all kinds of different things. Nothing has worked. And my employer, who is a doctor of internal medicine, she told me about how she is on the birth control ring. I've never used birth control in my life. I've always been a little nervous to try it, right? Because it's like you're putting synthetic hormones in your body. And I've always been like, how is this going to affect me? I've heard you can have nasty side effects, stuff like that. I've never particularly wanted to try it just because I've always kind of had the mentality of I'd rather go a more holistic route. Well, nothing has worked. So I decided, you know what? My employer highly recommends it. She can prescribe it for me and I can just go pick it up from the pharmacy, and because I'm still on my dad's insurance, it's free. Might as well. Like, just let's give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, no harm, no foul. But if it helps my period cramps get better, like, that'll significantly help me to function better in my day-to-day life, because at least 1 week out of the month, I'm in a huge amount of pain. So I go ahead and I get this ring last month, right? It did not come in till like the 2nd week of my period. So I put it in, right? And actually, I looked at the side effects. They gave me this giant sheet of paper, and I look at this thing and I'm like, holy crap, there's so much information. Like, who knew? And I put this thing in and I look at the side effects and I'm like, so basically I'm gonna die, right? Like, that's what this is saying. And that night I wake up twice and I end up vomiting in the bathroom. I did not know that was gonna happen, but it was not fun, and I felt really nauseous the next day. That cleared up pretty quickly, but it was not fun. And I talked to my employer and she was like, yeah, no, your body's adjusting to the hormones, and supposedly this process of your body adjusting to the hormones can take 2 to 3 months. Thankfully, I haven't like dealt with the vomiting again. I have dealt with a little bit of nausea all through this past week specifically, because here's the thing. I also track my period because it tends to be a little bit irregular, right? That's also another reason I decided that the ring might be a good option for me, is if it makes it a little more regular. And I'm tracking my period and it says period due. And I'm like, great, I should start bleeding. And I get those little cramp feels where you're like, oh, I'm about to start the bleeding, right? Nothing happens for a week. I just get these little cramps. I feel a little bit nauseous. Emotionally, I was all over the place. I was a mess, like majorly. Like yesterday, I was crying for no reason. Like, it was weird. Well, actually, let me backtrack. I took out the ring yesterday because you leave it in for 3 weeks and then you take it out for a week, and that's when you bleed. I did not know that. I thought I was a week late, and I was like, ah! Why am I late? And I was like freaking out, and I talked to my employer and she's like, no, that's normal. You're not gonna bleed until you take it out. And I was like, okay, great. So I'm basically forcing my body to be a week late. That's awesome. This is fun. I took it out. I was a mess. Like, I was like crying for no good reason. Like, I just like randomly burst into tears and was just crying. I'm not like that. That's not me. So I was like, okay, this is something else. So anyway, I did that. I was very tired. Yesterday, I mandated a complete rest day. I was like, you are not going to do anything. You're going to sleep. You're going to nap. You're going to sleep in. You're going to go to bed early. That's exactly what I did. And I woke up this morning and I still hurt. I'm actually cramping a little bit now. Here's the thing that's been weird. I have not started heavy bleeding. I have been cramping and nothing crazy has happened yet. So I'm kind of just like, this is really uncharted waters for me. This is uncomfy. And on top of being sleep deprived and sick, it's not been fun. So anyway, that has been my 2026 so far. I've been like emotionally all over the place. It's not been fun. I've been sick. I have not felt well. I will say the rest day helped. It did help. I don't like sitting still, okay? I really don't like it. But it was good for me. It needed to happen. Today I was a little more productive. I did rest a lot today, but I was a little more productive because I went to a little crepe place that I've never been to before. Got some coffee, and I applied to cosmetology school. This is something I am doing this fall. Hopefully I applied. I hope I get in. I think I will, right? Like, this is like at the local college. I should get in, right? Like, I hope so. So anyway, yeah, I applied to the local college and hopefully I will get into cosmetology school. That's what I would like to start this fall. And I applied to a bunch of scholarships too, because your girl is broke. I'm broke. I work in childcare. I'm self-employed. Tax season is coming up. That's gonna be fun because I have to do my own taxes. Like, crying, you know? Anyway, yeah, that's me. That's my 2026. I did do something good. I created a little vision board. It's not fancy, but I created a vision board for 2026. And there are 3 goals I have for myself in 2026. I would like to, 1, this is my biggest goal, start cosmetology school, because that is the career I think I would like to go into. 2, I can't decide if this is ambitious or not. I would like to earn my first point in novice. I talked a little bit about how novice is a really big division right now and people take years to get out of it. But I consistently take lessons, go to events, go to social dances, and pursue constant training. I practice all the time. So I'm like, is that too far off? It might be ambitious. I can't tell, honestly. I really am not sure if it's ambitious or not. But I feel like I'm constantly growing and I'm constantly getting better at what I do. So I feel like it's possible if I work hard to get like a point. I have to final. I have not made it out of prelims yet. So maybe I am being ambitious. But if I work hard for another year, like at some point in 2026, is it possible? Who knows? But I would like to make it happen. So yeah, that's a goal I'd like to have for myself. And third, I'd like to get rid of what I call my AF loan. It's my Abeka Fund loan, for those of you who don't know. I got my undergrad and most of my master's at Pensacola Christian College. I have thoughts about that location. I went there, and when I first went there, I first applied for the Abeka Fund loan. And I've been whittling away at this darn thing, and I would like to completely get rid of it by the end of the year. I have other student loans. I would like to get rid of this one. I would like it to be gone, bye-bye, go away, you know, like, so I can be working on one loan at a time. But yeah, those are my 2026 goals. I did set those up this past week. I put them on my wall, and I said, this is what I want to get done this year. It's ambitious, but I can do it. It is possible. So, yeah, anyways, that is my goals for the year. That is what my year has been like so far. Next week, I'm going snowboarding. I have been told it is entirely possible that I could wipe out and die and be chased by a moose. So, I'm nervous. I have never been snowboarding in my life, and this hobby is a rich man's hobby. I am too broke to be going snowboarding, but you know, you only live once, YOLO. And I got invited on this trip and said yes before I knew how expensive it would be. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited, and I'm hoping that I start feeling better and my period is over with soon and my body continues adjusting to these hormones, because this has not been a fun process. I saw a quote recently that said, does the process know that I'm trusting it? Process! I'm trusting you and you're letting me down! I don't know, maybe I'm just being dramatic. Anyway, bye y'all. That's 2026 for ya. I'm gonna go to the thrift store and look for a suitcase, because I need a suitcase. Okay? Peace. Love, sparkles. That's so dumb. I don't know how to end videos, alright? Peace out, y'all. I hope y'all are doing better than me.